Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am Franchise Pearson. Welcome again to my channel. It is Saturday. Happy Saturday, November 30th of 2024, 2:15 in the p.m. Let's say it together. Praise our loving Heavenly Father, who is soon to come. Yes, praise God from whom all blessings flow. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So yeah, happy holidays. They are amongst us. Some of the most beautiful times of the year. We are called to endure in this generation until the end. I pray for you and you pray for me. Well, people in Britain is going through some of the similar things that we are going through. Economics, immigration. Economics, immigration. On July 4th of this year, there was an election of which Starmer became the prime minister. I touched on this in part not too long ago, but I want to go in depth because I had mentioned him in relation to Elon Musk. Elon Musk is questioning how his government is running. He called it tyrannical. Now, I've been saying recently, why is Elon Musk sticking his nose in the political sphere? And then I added, why is he speaking and putting his nose in the international sphere? Well, I do believe that there is a hidden agenda that Musk has been brought and welcomed into this arena, because he has specific things, allegedly, that he is supposed to do in these end times. You see, everybody is going to play their role, but they have to be introduced. And now that Trump has introduced Elon into the fold, Elon is gradually taking a broad that is beyond a national scope. And I'm speculating that Starmer will be replaced. Elon said months ago that he believed they were on the verge of civil war. When you take the downtrodden of the economy, and the illegals and the dissension, the differences between the residents there. People are, like someone said in the video I researched hours ago, people are so torn by what's going on. I remember when, what was it? I want to say May 6th, and they had the coronation. I remember looking at the astounding numbers then, and I was like, wow, Britain has spent all this money on the coronation. See if I can pull that up. How much was the coronation in Britain? We're talking, what, $91 million. And I asked myself when, Prince Charles became King Charles, how can they afford it? Yeah, May 6th of 2023, $91 million. I'm like, wow. I'm sure it took them a year plus to put this thing together. But $91 million in a period where you have economic hardships. And now this man has run and he's won. And I pointed out in a few videos that Barack Obama was his mentor. So let's proceed and listen to some things. And you will actually see a debate, which I enjoyed, from the independent party. I like the way they do their politics, and I wish that we could do that here. But we'll go into it, okay? Just check this out.
Nearly 1 million people came to Britain in the year ending June 2023. That is 4 times the migration levels compared with 2019. Time and again, The Conservative Party promised they would get the numbers down. Time and again, they failed. And now the chorus of excuses has begun. We heard that from the leader of the opposition yesterday. But what we didn't hear, what the British people are owed, is an explanation. Because a failure on this scale isn't just bad luck. It isn't a global trend or taking your eye off the ball. No, this is a different order of failure. This happened by design, not accident. Policies were reformed deliberately to liberalise immigration. Brexit was used for that purpose, to turn Britain into a one-nation experiment in open borders.
Did you hear that? This just came out a day ago, people. He's trying to bring to light and give perspective and context to what is happening. This open border policy, they want an explanation. Why was it adopted? And now it's crushing the economy. Listen again, like 10 seconds of it.
That is 4 times the migration levels compared with 2019.
4 times the immigration level of 2019. Can you imagine that?
Year ending June 2023. That is 4 times the migration levels compared with 2019.
What is going on in America and Britain and the world? I submit to you what the powers are doing. They have an agenda. It's a one world system. And they're not explaining it. They're just doing it. And in different regions of Britain, it's causing chaos. They just drop it off people. And from our research, the people are saying, look, we don't know these people. They're just standing around all day. We already had people who didn't have full-time jobs. They would go to jobs based on workforce programs. You know, those programs where you go to a place and you wait to find out if there's going to be work somewhere in your neighborhood. That's what they have in certain parts. And I'm listening to those videos and people saying, look, I'm check to check. There aren't any jobs. I'm on a work program where I go to a place every day and sit there until I find out that a business needs me. And I don't have stable employment. And now you drop these illegals over here? This, my friend, will probably be the reason, or one of the reasons, they'll take him out. Because he's rebelling. He's revealing Pandora's box. Or is he one of them and just playing a role? I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised, but I know from this video he's revealing what we have been going through and what we are asking. And thank God he's asking it. It's supposed to be for we the people, so he's speaking for the people. Listen to this. This just came out a day ago as well. Immigration gone through the roof. Crisis explained by former Border Force boss.
Let's speak now to Tony Smith, who's the former head of UK Border Force. Tony, great to have you back on the programme. The big news today is less about people coming over in boats and more about people coming over in trains, planes and automobiles and presenting a passport at the border and being told, come on in, you're welcome. You get to stay here for the rest of your life. Record figures, there's projections that these might start tipping down again. It's Sir Keir Starmer really coming out, pointing the finger of blame directly at the Conservative Party, calling it an immigration experiment. Do you think that there is some hope, perhaps, that the Labour government might finally get a hold on this?
Well, good evening, Alex. I don't know yet. I think it's too early to tell. Remember, these figures only run to June 24. before the election, so they're all down to the Tories. There's certainly no doubt about that. And we're not very good at counting, Alex. It seems the ONS have upgraded the figures for 23 and 22 now and found another 150,000 or so on top. So although we've got 728k.
With his experience, he should have been able to answer that fast, quick, in a hurry, with some stats. If that's his profession, he knows there's a problem. Trust me, he's got to know. If that's your business, you know.
Shots have been fired between Prime Minister Keir Starmer and Elon Musk after the billionaire said the UK is heading for a civil war. Starmer has been in the trenches in the past week, trying to quell violent far-right riots which have swept the UK. But the owner of X appears to think that's impossible. He claimed the riots show civil war is inevitable. The Prime Minister's spokesman said there was no justification for the South Africans' intervention. But it didn't stop there. Starmer, after an emergency meeting with police about stopping the riots, said,
This is not protest. It is pure violence, and we will not tolerate attacks on mosques or our Muslim communities.
On X, Musk responded, Shouldn't you be concerned about attacks on all communities? Misinformation on X has been partly blamed for the riots by senior Labour MPs. Shots have been fired between...
This is not good, people. This is not good. It's setting a climate. I don't know enough to speak on the integral parts of Britain. I follow it like you follow it. Musk is not an elected official. He's just a billionaire. He has a right to have an opinion just as much as you and I have. He has a platform X. I just feel that something this deep and you don't know the inner workings on it, you've got to be more respectful to the manager who's managing it right now. And that would be this gentleman. He just got in there in July. He was handed a handful. It could very well reflect what Donald J. Trump will go through, of which I talked about last night. The UK village divided by asylum seekers arrived.
This is what caused the clashes. There aren't many facilities in Kegworth, but the...
So what happened was, in this piece, a owner of I believe a hotel or a residential building, I think it's a hotel, he owned it for 25 years. And it's now being leased. I would say, don't quote me, I think it's by the government. Whoever set it up is for the illegals. Now, I am familiar with this because I stay a few blocks from a synagogue whereby they too are doing the same thing. And I wouldn't be surprised if that guy's made over $1 million. You feel me? So now this guy is doing something similar. Check it out.
The U Lodge was one of them. It's a family-run hotel with a gym, a pool and a popular restaurant. But last month, without much notice, all bookings were suddenly cancelled and all the signs to the hotel were covered over because the owner had signed an exclusive contract with the Home Office to use the hotel for asylum seekers. And its local communities feeling the fallout. This is Operation U Lodge, a campaign group that's been holding regular demos.
People are just scared to walk the streets now.
What are you scared of?
Well, we don't know because we don't know anything about these people.
They're marching to the home of the man who owns the hotel. He's a local businessman. He's well known locally because he's owned that hotel for 25 years and is friends with some of the residents. The owner, Jeremy Pick, hasn't responded.
They're shredding the country. The powers, it's bigger than the prime minister, just like it's bigger than Trump here. I have that much of perspective. They're shredding these countries. They're breaking them down. They're causing dissension and chaos. And the people are fighting back. This guy took a flat check, probably more money than he's ever made in a short period of time in his whole life. And the odds are his hotel was, like most businesses, is not busy until probably the weekend. So to get his money up front, he's in heaven. Just like a whole lot of other people in America who have synagogues or churches or big buildings. The government's coming through and boom, there it is. Is that something the prime minister can stop? I don't know. Probably can. My mayor has declared here in Chicago a sanctuary city. I don't know how British law works. If you know, let me know. Could the prime minister have stopped this? If so, he needs to understand and have perspective in that this would cause a lot of animosity, especially in relation to his him just becoming appointed. And again, like I said, I have my opinion. Elon's got his, but for X to be utilized on Britain, I just think he needs to be careful. That's just too much power. If you don't, I would respect it more if Elon met with him than just to outright speak on it. Let's move forward. Here's a citizen. Go from here. People responding.
Some people are concerned about the look of their car. Some people are concerned about the look of their trainers. Some people are concerned about the look of their kitchen. I'm concerned about the look of the country.
For me, I'm not interested. I'm pretty happy with a multicultural society, to be honest.
What are your thoughts on the government dealing with immigration at the moment?
Well, I'm not a big fan of their approach in general, because I think they use it as a bit of a tool to whip up support for the more kind of negative side of their base. So I wouldn't say that it's a particularly constructive policy that they've got. I'd rather they were looking at where immigration can be used to benefit the country, and obviously you have to have a robust system, but it seems to be a big distraction from where they need to be going with it.
Well, they're not doing very...
He makes a very good point. I cherish this. I think that's the perspective that people would have to look at from a business standpoint, because Britain is a business just like America. You're running a business. What's the benefit? If you're just taking from the country that's already going through economic hardship, that's not a benefit. What's the long term? It's not right, people. It's not right. Now, watch this here. I love this part here. Check this out.
Now, this week, a petition on the Parliament website has called for a new general election, and it's gathered almost 3 million signatures at the point we are recording this, and it's going up. It's the third largest petition since 2010. It's also a little bit ridiculous, but it was referenced by Conservative leader Kemi Badenoch at this week's PMQs.
Mr. Speaker, if he wants to know what Conservatives would do, he should resign and find out. Until then...
I'll decide when there's more.
Mr. Speaker, until then, I'm the one asking the questions. There's a petition out there, 2 million people asking him to go.
Rachel, you've written about this week. Is that a good stance for Kemi to be taking?
Well, it's always interesting in situations like this to compare what politicians are saying now to what they said about a similar situation where the political issue was slightly different.
Now, I apologize for not mentioning, I should have. Elon Musk ran a petition. I guess he's still got it on X. Elon Musk ran a petition. And it has, I think, between 2 to 3 million people to run the current prime minister out of there. I just don't think he got a right to get involved in somebody's business. You in America. Oh, you ain't even handling America's business. And like I said in my live, he's busy doing space exploration. And now Donald Trump got him in the fold. He got his priorities screwed up. And again, I got half the mind to investigate how many rocket ships had blown up just to make one successful. And he's getting government subsidy, which means he's a bad manager. Use your own money to blow up and test spaceships before you get one to be successful. That's my point. Let me move on. This is what I like. I like these back and forth. Here we go.
If he wants to know what Conservatives would do, he should resign and find out. Until then...
I'll decide when there's more.
Mr. Speaker, until then, I'm the one asking the questions. There's a petition out there, 2 million people asking him to go. He's the one who doesn't know. He's the one who doesn't know how things work. It is not government that creates growth, Mr. Speaker. It is business. His employment secretary, I don't see her here, she wants more young people in work. But businesses say they are cutting jobs because of the Chancellor's budget. His Deputy Prime Minister, she is not here. Her employment rights bill will stop businesses hiring. That's what they say. The CBI said on Monday that the dots of the government's policy don't join up. They're right, aren't they?
Mr. Speaker, on Monday she said that she...
I like this. And I wish, I wrote down the comment, I wish we should have our own petition. We should have had one on Biden and Kamala and all these governors and all these mayors regarding military spending and immigration. How many of you all would have signed one? I didn't see Musk doing that. Look, do you feel me? Correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe he did. Did Musk run a petition? Worldwide? America and worldwide, if Biden and Kamala were doing a good job and we wanted them to go? Because you know if he did, Congress would have had to bend and get him out of there way before Trump got up in there. So how come he didn't do that? You over there across the seas, utilizing X to get in this man's business with 2 to 3 million people sign a petition to get rid of him. And I'm in the middle. I don't know enough about it. Maybe he is part of the economic woes. But he just got there in July. He done that much damage? Maybe he has. But I know he was handed something bad. I know the illegals had been there before he got there and still coming in. So, again, how come Elon didn't run no petition here in America to get rid of Joe? You know why? Because that's not how they want the script to go. They wanted Joe to get to a certain point, 3.5 years, then hand it over to Kamala, and then boom, like I put in other videos, Kamala's birthday is October 20th. Guess what? Snoop Dogg's birthday is October 20th. What do I mean? Snoop Dogg was overseas in the games. I think it was the France games. I don't know what games it was. Remember, he was passing the torch. Let's look that up. Snoop Dogg passed the torch in the games. Remember that? Snoop Dogg carried the Olympic torch during the 2024 Paris Olympics. I want y'all to understand, like I said in my live, they laughing at us. Here we got Elon Musk in somebody's business. Where he at? He up in somebody's business international, running an X petition to get rid of this man. And who knows, he might be right. But you could have ran that here in America, because arguably our stuff stink worse than his does. He just got there. Joe was there 3.5 years. How come you didn't run a petition then? I want y'all to understand that. And the reason why I believe, allegedly, is because the powers run this thing on a timing basis. And Kamala Harris' birthday is October 20th, and so is the Snoop Dogg. And I don't think it's coincidence that on October 20th, the same week they were having the Democratic National Convention. Watch this. What was the dates of the Democratic National Convention?
In Chicago, the 2024 Democratic National Convention started on Monday, August 19th, 2024, ended on Thursday, August...
So, let me get my logic right. Snoop Dogg was at the games. July 26th, if I got this right. So July 26th, Snoop Dogg was over there carrying the torch. And if I'm not mistaken, on the 22nd of the very next month, she carried the torch. You see the timing? It might be a month off, but you understand what I'm trying to get at. This is why Elon Musk couldn't say nothing, because he couldn't get in the way of what the powers allegedly have been, what they're planning. But now he can go, he can talk about what's going over in Britain, but he couldn't disrupt America and get Joe out of there. Because if Joe went, she would have went. And it would have been no need to pass the torch, which meant it would have been no need for Snoop Dogg to carry a torch because they got the same birthday. That's just how I see it. Just want y'all to have some context. So the bottom line is, will they get Boris back? Will they get Boris back? He's all over the news every now and then. He's making international comments. What do you think? Put in the comment section. Or will Sunak get back up in there? I don't know. It might be Boris. That's what I'm thinking. I'm Friend Shot Pearson. Enjoy the work. Thumbs up. Hit the bell. God bless you. God bless America.